the opening scene, a boy awakens in a hospital morgue, lacking any recollection of how he arrived there. Confused and determined to escape, he sneaks out of the morgue room, startling a nurse who reacts with a scream. Following this, he is escorted to a wardroom where he sees a woman named Rudy, who appears concerned for him. Soon after, the boy loses consciousness, and upon waking, he once again tries to flee. However, this time he is confronted by several people who have a creepy look on their faces. Desperate to escape all of these, he climbs out of a window and walks along the ledge. Unfortunately, he slips and plummets from a considerable height. But before hitting the ground, the building mysteriously gets tilted, enabling him to stand on its side. Just then, an individual resembling a window cleaner approaches him and introduces himself as the Guardian. He discloses that the boy's memory has been erased, and he is now a spirit who has been granted a second chance at life. The boy is inside the body of Min, a teenager who recently committed the unthinkable. Following this revelation, the Guardian restores the building to its original position, compelling Min to clutch onto the window's edge. Min somehow manages to pull himself up and climbs in through the window. As he returns to his wardroom, a nurse walks in and tries to stab him with an injection. In response, Min hurls a saline bottle, only to witness its contents freeze midair. The nurse then unveils herself as the Guardian, who seems to be able to possess any form. The Guardian refers to Min's body as a temporary homestay and gives him 100 days to uncover the reason behind Min's death, warning that failure to do so will result in his permanent demise. He then hands the boy an hourglass to keep track of the 100 days. The next morning, the doctor examines Min and is astounded by his recovery, despite having been deceased for a whole day. Nonetheless, the doctor considers it a positive sign and discharges him from the hospital. After this, Rudy, who is none other than Min's mother, drives him back home. Upon arrival, Min discovers that he has an older brother named Men, who hates him for some reason. He also meets his father, who appears to have resigned from his position as a university lecturer to pursue a career in multi-level marketing, specifically selling supplements. For the time being, Rudy asks Min to share a room with his brother, since she doesn't want to leave him alone just yet. Later, Min inquires about the day he committed the unthinkable, but his mother refuses to discuss it. That night, Min sneaks out of his room and begins to explore the house. He sifts through numerous photo frames and albums, but fails to find any pictures of himself. He then heads to his own room, only to discover that it's locked. When Min tries to peek inside, he is caught by Men, who angrily sends him back to bed. The next day, a desperate Min climbs out the window, walks along the ledge, and breaks into his room. But once again, he finds nothing but a photograph of himself, mentioning his birth and death dates. Shortly after, Rudy enters the room and asks if he's about to do something drastic again. Min denies it and inquires about his belongings, to which Rudy claims that he was the one who disposed of everything. Soon after, she breaks down in tears, embracing Min and asking why he took such a drastic step. The following morning, Min decides to continue his schooling. While getting dressed, he discovers a brooch and his mother's business card in his wallet. Here, it is revealed that Rudy is an engineer working in a distant province. Later on, she drives him to school, and before parting ways, instructs Min to keep the truth hidden from everyone and simply pretend to be absent due to flu. While at school, he realizes that Min has very few friends, with Lee being his only close companion. Min also has a crush on a fellow student named P, who is a bright student and his tutoring peer. P is a member of the card stunt club. So is Min. As a result, he attends their next meeting where the leaders remind him that he needs to complete their drawing for an upcoming competition. Amidst this, Min notices other students wearing brooches identical to the one he has in his wallet. He soon discovers that these brooches signify the exceptional students of the Olympic class. Intrigued, he decides to wear the brooch and enters the Olympic class, but is swiftly caught by the teacher and thrown back out. Later, Min meets P in the library to seek academic assistance and finds himself captivated by her beauty. Much like the previous version of Min, reincarnate him as many times as you want. He will always want the P. Gradually, the spirit inhabiting Min's body begins to adapt to his new life and grows comfortable. He spends a significant amount of time with P, and they both seem to enjoy each other's company. One day, Min's father visits the school and reminds him about an appointment with his therapist. He also provides Min with some of his own products to advertise. Later, Min attends the therapy session, where the therapist asks intrusive questions about Min's personal life. But as the boy tries to reply, the therapist abruptly shatters a product bottle, causing its contents to scatter in the air, revealing himself as the Guardian. It becomes apparent that the Guardian's purpose is to remind Min of his mission and advise him against getting distracted. The Guardian emphasizes the urgency of time running out and tells Min to uncover the truth soon. Additionally, he informs Min that the hourglass he previously gave to him will automatically halt once he discovers the truth. In the next scene, we see the students are immersed in the festivities at school, but P appears to be upset. Min approaches her and discovers that she is sad because she's unable to solve certain questions. P is worried that she won't be able to achieve a top-ranking medal this time and fears disappointing everyone. Upon hearing her distress, Min attempts to uplift her spirits with comforting words. He also asks if they are a couple, but P denies it, explaining that he never asked her out. As the night progresses, the two have an enjoyable time together, playing games, making wishes, and admiring the fireworks. While sitting on a rooftop, taking in the view, P remarks on how much Min has changed compared to his previous self. Min then asks her which version of him she prefers, to which she replies that she will answer this after a few days. The following day, at home, Min overhears his mother speaking on the phone with his father. She appears to be enraged because the greedy man sold her wedding ring for business purposes. To console his mother, Min joins her and assists with some kitchen tasks. A few days later, Min and P are sitting together when P presents him with a gift for his birthday. It is a personally crafted kaleidoscope, knowing that Min has a fondness for such objects. As they converse, P brings up Min's previous question and shares that she prefers the current version of Min over his past self. Finally, their relationship blossoms as they share a romantic kiss. The next day at school, while Min is drawing P on a bridge, he notices group pictures in which the previous version of Min can be seen in the background beside a locker. Intrigued, Min approaches the same locker and forcefully opens it, only to find it empty. Moments later, Lee approaches him and informs him that he had left his laptop in her locker a few days earlier. Lee further explains that she went to Min's place that day, but couldn't find his mother, so she handed the laptop to Min. After learning of this, Min hastily returns home and sneaks into Men's room in search of his laptop. While rummaging through the room, he discovers family photographs with his face intentionally scratched on all of them. He also comes across paperwork indicating Men's desire to study abroad, eager to uncover more details. Min checks his brother's computer and stumbles upon a conversation between Men and his ex-girlfriend. As he goes through their chat, he learns that Men blamed him for being unable to pursue his studies abroad. It was because of Min's sudden attempts that his brother had to drop all of his plans. This is the reason why Men hates his brother so much. He even wishes that Min never returned from the hospital. God, men are such assholes. Soon after, Min finds the S note, suicide, written by his past self. However, before he can delve into its contents, Men walks in, seizes the laptop, and hurls it out the window. Min rushes outside, retrieves the damaged laptop, and somehow manages to turn it back on. Following this, he reads through his own S note and discovers that he committed the unthinkable by ingesting a poisonous substance. In the note, he expresses intense hate towards his father, who took advantage of his mother's earnings, and his brother, who consistently belittled him. The only person he truly trusted and loved was his mother. However, she was so busy that she never had time for him. One day, Min visits the Olympic class to see P. He secretly observes through the doorway and shockingly witnesses her teacher touching her inappropriately. Much to his astonishment, P remains passive and does not even retaliate. The very next day, Min confronts the teacher and punches him hard on his face before taking P along with him. Outside, Min demands the truth regarding their relationship. P reveals that she dislikes the teacher but chooses to remain silent, as it's the only way that she can maintain her academic excellence. Furthermore, P asks Min to apologize to her teacher, as she doesn't want to jeopardize her future because of all of this. Consumed by anger, Min refuses to comply and storms off. Afterwards, Min's father arrives at the school and has to apologize on behalf of his son. Later, in the car, he scolds Min for his actions. In retaliation, Min confronts his father, angrily highlighting how he sold his mother's wedding ring for his foolish business ventures. Depressed by these events, Min boards a bus to his mother's quarter in another province. However, his heart sinks when he discovers his mother living with her secret boyfriend. Unable to bear the weight of these shocking revelations all at once, Min runs away in tears and stands alone on a bridge in the midst of the rain. After a brief moment, the raindrop stops in the air, and the Guardian, disguised as a young girl, approaches him. Min tells the Guardian that the complexity of his family and a betrayal from P are the reasons behind his untimely demise. However, the hourglass, symbolizing his quest for the truth, doesn't stop, indicating that Min's answer is incorrect. The guardian then reminds him that he has 3 days remaining to uncover the correct answer and departs. Later, Min returns home and vents his frustration by destroying his belongings in his room. Shortly afterwards, Lee visits him, asking if he has finished his drawing assignment. Filled with rage, Min responds rudely to Lee. He further claims that he never cared for Lee since he didn't even mention her name in his S-note. This revelation shatters Lee's heart, as she had never treated Min with the same disdain he experienced from the others. Later in the evening, Min and his father go to pick up Rudy from her workplace. After this, the three go to a restaurant to have dinner. While they dine, Min pretends to use the restroom, but keeps a watchful eye on them from a distance. During this, Min's father returns the wedding ring to Rudy, but instead of accepting it, she confesses about her affair, which causes Min's father to storm off in anger. Following this, Min and his mother drive home together in their car. Along the way, she apologizes to Min, acknowledging her mistake and assuring him that she will prioritize her family from now on. However, Min's anger remains unresolved, leading him to yell at his mother. This distraction causes her to lose focus while driving, resulting in their car getting hit by a truck. Fortunately, Min only sustains minor injuries, but his mother's condition appears to be critical. In the next scene, Min returns home and discovers some food left for him by his mother. He also looks at the gift P had given him, which triggers regret for his previous outburst. This suddenly makes him realize how much love and support Min had around him. Viewing things from a new perspective, he then endeavors to make the best of his remaining time, resolving past conflicts and tying up loose ends. Finally, he also completes his drawing for his stunt club. The next day, the Olympic team is participating in a tournament, and before that, P is called upon to deliver a speech. However, seeing Min in the audience makes her feel guilty, so she runs away. Min follows her to the classroom and tries to comfort her, assuring her that he's not mad at her anymore. After a brief conversation, the two end up embracing each other, bridging the gaps between them. Encouraged, P then goes to the principal and fearlessly reports the teacher's abuse. Aware of P's limited time for drawing, Min leaves his completed work on her desk, cheering her up for the upcoming contest. On his final day, Min expresses his apology to Lee for his previous rude behavior. They then watch rehearsals for the school's card stunt competition, in which Lee had submitted one of Min's old designs, created by the previous Min. As the card stunt is unveiled, it turns out to be exactly like the one made by the new Min. With this, it finally dawns on the boy that he was Min in his previous life, and a flood of memories resurface. Suddenly, he loses his balance and falls down the stairs. Then, he experiences a vision of himself lying in his room with the Guardian before him. In this vision, he tells the Guardian that his death was his own fault, as he had refused to see the positive aspects of life. The Guardian congratulates him on his victory and discloses that the test was a ruse to help him perceive the truth. He then tells Min to embrace his new life with a mindset of positivity. Min awakens once again on the school stairs, overwhelmed with joy, and embraces Lee. He then hurries to the hospital to reunite with his mother and bridge the gap between them. Starting from that day, Min resumes his daily routine, living a life filled with happiness and joy surrounding him.